Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 308th episode of the Geekverse podcast. I can't believe I remember that Travis Snail and the Moon Knight loving Travis Snail.
Oh, I was gonna have a moon. I'm the knight of the moon. Dylan Moss.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when D23 E3 Comic Con comes around. We say we're gonna cover it, but we can't give you specific why because we kind of thought, we'll throw all the news into one cast, but there's just too much juicy news not to talk about. And we'd also, if we did this with tomorrow, which is the it's like the Disney Films panel, that's what it's called. Right. So if we did that, that'd be like could be a nearly day-long cast, and we got a Comic-Con.
This is just too spicy content.
Exactly. So I want to ask you first, just so we're coming up November 12th, streaming wars are upon us. Everybody but the Geekverse has a streaming service. What do you think just overall what they've announced? Because obviously we saw a lot of Disney stuff today. We saw a lot of Marvel stuff. We saw a lot of Star Wars stuff. We saw a lot of Disney Channel stuff coming back. What do you think?
Jesus.
Like, how are you feeling about them going in to November 12th, and also on what was it? Australia and Canada. I think they announced us for sure, but I think the other one's Australia. It's coming November 12th,
and New Zealand as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think it's New Zealand and somewhere else that's coming out the 19th. But for us, and we're definitely being biased, but because we're Canadian, that's a good thing for us. And
yeah, because we were worried we might have to. We have to cover this stuff, so we'd have to find a way to do it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't live that far from the border. We could maybe just cruise over and hack some internet or something. But that's inimdeal.
But November 12th, $90 for the whole year, not bad.
A pretty good deal. Yeah. Today,
can you believe this? If you went to D23, you could get the Founders Pass. You could pay $140 for 3 years. We should have gone to D23.
We should have. Next year we'll go.
Yeah. Try and get
we'll split up. I'll go to E3. You can go to D23. I don't know.
Taylor can go to Assassin's Con. That's a prime name. How have they not done that yet? Yeah. Or
I feel like that could have a negative connotation.
That's true. The wrong people
current
show
state
up.
of the United States of America. It could be risky.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. What a panel today. Like, they've had so much information lately. Obviously, Comic-Con was huge. So this definitely came out of nowhere. A big amount of surprise. And I feel like there's just so much content on this streaming service in general. Like, I feel like they're really diving all over my past as like a human being. They're going back. They're bringing fucking Lizzie McGuire back. Yeah. Love that show as a kid. We've known about this Monsters Inc. show, but they've talked about that a bit more. Star Wars, even my recent history of just being super into Marvel stuff. Like, they're just hitting like my entire lifespan worth of content. Just like, here's all the stuff that's coming out. Some of this was unexpected. Some of it was just more good information to have. It's just insane. Like this, I said in our chat today, like this, like Disney Plus is mandatory. Like, you have to get this now. Like, whatever. There's like so many different levels of like fandom where like, okay, you still have to get this just because they're covering so many bases that. Fuck, Netflix is dead, man. Like, this is crazy. This is insane amount of content.
Well, that's what I saw today when they led off with High School Musical and Lizzie McGuire. I'm not a High School Musical fan, but they lead off with that, and then they kind of go into even some National Geographical stuff like this show with Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever. But then you got Marvel, and then you got Lady the Tramp, and then like a Noelle, which is like, that's a classic type of like Disney Santa Claus movie out there. Then you got Star Wars. I just feel like, and that's the thing there. And then they announced like all their shows, like even Steven's gonna be on their day launch. Kim Possible.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that it's kind of like that's what you said. I feel like this is what's smart. They didn't just go, let's just do a bunch of Marvel Star Wars shows, because that's what I'd say our fan base is primarily there for, that listens to the show. But they're going after, I think, just everybody. If you've ever liked anything Disney's done, they're doing something for you. Like I said, with Lizzie McGuire, Lady the Tramp, Moon Knight, which we're going to talk about, and Obi Wan. I feel like that's so many different quadrants hitting there. You got kids, and then even with kids, they're doing like the Monsters at Work stuff. They're doing like Toy Story shorts and everything like that. Like they're
hitting like 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, late 2000s.
They're hitting everything they can, and it's just really impressive. And that's why for me, it's just like, yeah, they're not going to have every MCU movie at launch, and same with Pixar, but they're going to get there eventually once those contracts run out. And I just don't know. And this is the thing. This is like lots of these things are coming in the first year. That the stuff like Loki and Scarlet Witch we talked about in the Comic-Con cast, we'll talk about them a bit today, but they didn't do any more news on the ones
they just
focused
on new stuff.
Yeah, it's just coming out. But even then, it's like that stuff's still coming like 2020, 2021, like even just this first year, like November, I think the best way for us to coverage that is like, I don't think you'll be watching Lay the Tramp, but if you want to watch Noel, I think we just all get together at someone's place and watch all that content together because like Mandalorian's coming out the same day as Noel and Lay the Tramp. And that's why the good thing is it's not just we're launching.
That's a nice launch. For
sure.
It's
not just we're launching with Mandalorian because that could just be, that's not, someone might be, I'm not a Star Wars person. That's not for me. But then it's like, we're also coming with this. We're also coming with this, so it's just Disney. They're scarily smart. They know what they're doing. We've seen it this week how powerful
they just have so much money that they can produce all this stuff.
And that's the thing which we'll get into. But even the Noel trailer, that's what I watched last. It looks very movie quality. It looks like it could be released in the theater. And I'm excited for the app because I'm a big Disney fan. But it's just an exciting time in general to see things are changing. Yeah, I worry about Netflix. You got Apple TV starting this fall. Like that's what their app is called. You got Warner Brothers launching their thing, HBO Max soon. So it's very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. But I think whatever they did today for a panel, they just killed it. I think the word is out. They're dropping posters left, right. You're gonna start seeing. That's the weird thing. We're gonna start seeing commercials for the Mandalorian, probably in theaters. I would imagine soon and stuff like that. Like on a Disney movie. Think about that. Like
I don't see why not.
Like
they want to make that a household name,
right?
They want that symbol to be recognized.
Like if we can get car commercials in front of TV now and John Cott.
Yeah, you take out one car commercial, you still have 5. So why not?
Or they won't take it out, and we're just gonna have like so many ads before movies now. Every movie's gonna be 3 hours. But we're going to start off with Marvel because they dropped some spicy stuff. I don't know. I'm going to go in order here. I want to start off with this before we get in the actual news because we might be talking about this tomorrow. So big rumor came out today that Kit Harington is not even up in talks, has joined the MCU in an unknown role and an unknown movie. So they're being very quiet. I think that's a dead-on sign we're going to hear something tomorrow because earlier we're going to talk about, but earlier today the Miss Marvel news dropped and it was like, there's a show happening, might get announced at D23, and then they confirmed it with sick logos. All those logos are beautiful. Their logo game.
The Disney aesthetic is just on point. Like they're no Sony when it comes to advertising. They know how to market their stuff.
So so he's rumored, and shout out to Kirkland. We do a superhero draft. This is first time listening. I want to give a big shout out to the last few people that have reviewed us. Lots of 5-star reviews coming on iTunes, so thank you very much.
And even just the Facebook page in general. So many people in there just commenting on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Being part of the discussion. It's a lot of fun.
It's been a great time. So thank you. If this is your first time listening, subscribe, go to Facebook, go to Twitter.
If you aren't a Facebook user, honestly, just make one just to join in on the conversations because it's a lot of fun. There's people in there talking about this stuff.
Make a Moon Knight account.
And Travis is fucking on point, posting this stuff within frames of it being announced. So if you want that up-to-date content, then, Travis, you're just a legend. So thank you so much for doing that.
The last half was I had a dinner with my in-laws, and I was doing it under the table because I didn't want to be rude. So it was really tough. I'm like, we all try to keep it updated. But so go there, and if you like what we're doing, subscribe and review. Yep. But so we do a superhero draft every year where everyone picks actors, and you pick 5 actors, actresses, thinking if they could get cast in a Marvel DC role, and Kirkland picked Kit Harington, and he doesn't get the point.
I will say I'm the reigning champ of this.
You are. The first year
Jake Gyllenhaal.
The first year 0 winners, second year Dylan won. Yep. So this year Kirkland doesn't get the point until it's officially out there, but it was dropped by deadline, and then a bunch of people are like boom boom boom, it's happening. So what do you think? I know we've talked about this, and maybe if you're on our Facebook page you might have seen Dylan's call, but what are you thinking about this?
So, Kit Harington, one, if we didn't see him today, it probably means he's part of the movies. So, people were thinking maybe he's like a Moon Knight or something, but I don't really think that's going to be the case just because we probably would have heard about that today. Yeah. Plus, that is such a big name that I think they would have, because they really didn't talk about a ton of actors today, at least from the news I saw.
Well, they didn't, because they announced She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight.
We have to imagine that stuff's pretty far out.
Yeah, right?
It's just like,
we're
doing it.
But even then, it's like no actors, no writers, no directors, no team. It's just like, it's kind of almost like the Blade announcement. Other than that was, we have Ali. Other than that, these are just... I gotta look and see if there's a timetable for those shows, because they are in the TV graphics with the rest of those. So
really, okay.
I would assume maybe they're coming out by 2022, which is fascinating. By 2022,
right after the current shows, I guess, or the ones we know about, the four we know about already. And I imagine What If is just like kind of be a ongoing thing, like they'll just do it maybe once a year.
They don't. Well, we can get into that. I'm not sure about that because they announced that they're doing a what is it? An episode for every film of the Infinity Saga. So every film is going to have we'll go off on this for a second before we get into Kit Harington. Every film's going to have a what if episode. So far, we know about the Peggy Carr one. That's officially Captain Britain, and it is little Steve Rogers, which is weird because Chris Evans is not listed in the voice talent, so I'm getting a little worried that he's not coming back for it. But so he's there, and then the two other ones apparently we saw, but they're not unconfirmed, but multiple people have talked about. Apparently there was one of Bucky Barnes fighting a zombie Captain America.
That's pretty crazy.
And then T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Yeah, that one made no sense to me.
But I'm like, I want to see what's going on.
I want to see it. I'm just curious. I guess.
In my mind, I guess, does that mean that in the movie where Guardians, when they went and got Peter Quill, they got T'Challa accidentally?
He's dancing
Yondu
around to the song.
Yeah, like Yondu, they got Yondu. I don't know. I think he'll be more serious, but I think that maybe I don't know, that maybe they thought he was Ego's kid or something.
He got plucked up from Earth.
But
that would be pretty wild.
That's interesting. Every movie's going to get one. So I'm very excited for that Infinity War.
Yeah,
and
every
one.
movie, not necessarily just every character. So that's definitely pretty curious.
Yeah, that Infinity War and Endgame one, and even Civil War, those are going to be really interesting.
I know I'm obviously always talking about Doctor Strange, but even then, I wonder if that's just going to be like Dormammu, just experiencing some of those timelines that we didn't get to see or something.
Now that we know what it is, one time we should do a bread and butter topic of each movie, what we think. Because I think the only one that I can peg down, I think Black Panther's obviously something to do with Killmonger. That's the only one I think that's a clear cut. And the Peggy one seemed pretty clear cut. But T'Challa's Star-Lord, that was not clear cut at all. So they're just going wacky and wild. So
it's going to be super fun.
Yeah. So
and the fact that even they're going to do one for Incredible Hulk, what the...
Oh,
that's pretty weird. Because that movie's kind of the black sheep, or the forgotten child of the MCU because of that recast. That's going to be... maybe they'll do a what if Edward Norton was the Hulk. Wouldn't that be kind of fun?
I saw someone say, what are they going to do for Dark World? And they said, what if it was a good movie or something like that. So back to Kit Harington.
Right.
Yeah, so we're thinking he's not on TV Land. That's how we got off that tangent, right? Because they would say so today, I think.
Just based on what you're saying, all this stuff... Some information was dropping in the morning, and then it's kind of getting confirmed. Even Obi Wan, was that not confirmed a few days ago?
It was leaked by
it was a leak. Okay.
Yeah, it was broken by bigger trades, but they didn't confirm it. All those trades went to Disney, and they just said no comment. And usually that means it's happening. The same thing happened with Miss Marvel today. They're like, "Hey, is this happening?" And they said no comment. If they say no comment, you know it's happening. They just don't know when it's coming.
It makes sense, and it's just a perfect casting thing. I just feel now that Game of Thrones is done, I'm really on that Emilia Clarke bandwagon. I think she's going to get cast in something soon. And I feel like they scooped up. What was the other guy? Pedro Pascal? Is he from Game of Thrones? Is he?
Yeah, he's from Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And then also, Richard Madden. He was only in the show for 3 seasons, but still he's going to be in the Eternals. So they love that Game of Thrones cast. So I think I don't know if it's this year, but I don't know who you're going to pick for your legacy pick next year, but Emilia Clarke's going to happen in the next 5 years, guaranteed.
Especially she's in that Disney fam with Star Wars now.
Yeah. And there's no Solo 2 announced today.
Kit Harington. So... if I'm just gonna take him out of the TV show.
Yeah.
So where else does he go? Obviously, one thought would be Fantastic Four. I don't really think he fits with any of those.
Because you and I are in the same camp that we think it's gonna be at least Susan and Reed is gonna be older, right?
Yeah. In my head, it's John Krasinski is gonna be Mr. Fantastic.
You've just decided.
I've just decided that. So until I'm proven wrong, but I do think it makes sense to go with a little bit of an older crowd because I think X-Men is gonna be a younger crowd.
Okay.
Not all of them, but
I know what you mean.
A good amount of them.
More hip, yeah.
Yeah, kind of grow up with the characters a bit more, possibly.
And then I think he's too old for Johnny Storm, because Johnny Storm, I think, will be the young guy on the team for Fantastic Four, because he's Susan's brother. So I think he'll be the late 20s, because people have been we're not going to see Johnny Storm and Peter Parker be friends anymore. So I think it'd be somewhere around Tom Holland age, where the other people.
And I just can't really picture, I just can't picture Kit as one of the Fantastic.
No,
it doesn't
either.
fit in my head. It doesn't snap as easily. Now, some of the X-Men, kind of do click. And I guess one question right away is what is their plan with X-Men? Because there could be, they could go with something just very different, right? They could try to do separate characters than we've seen before. They might not do Wolverine for a bit because they know that's still fresh. Just leave that for a while. They might go with some new ones. But then again, they might just go with some classics just because that's easy. People are going to go see the movie that has Wolverine in it.
Boom.
So obviously Wolverine is
$1 billion,
a thought, but I'm like I said earlier today, I'm gonna go with the Gambit pick because one, I think he has the look. I know there's like this whole Channing Tatum wants to be Gambit thing, but
it's not happening.
I feel like that's just been overdone at this point.
Yeah,
let's move on from that. And I think maybe a good route with X-Men is to do something different. Start with some characters that we haven't really seen or we've only seen a little bit. And
fan favorite,
and
too.
even starting with like smaller movies with only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 X-Men characters instead of a big team up right away. And maybe Gambit's a good way to do that. He's an interesting character. He's
a fan favorite too. People love him.
He's definitely a comic book favorite, and even like I feel like enough people know who he is and like the general.
Yeah, I think so. And he's been in a X-Men movie, so people know.
Which one was he in?
Origins. So like not a good one, but still. And I the thing he was most popular from is the 90s cartoon. He was a big character. So I feel enough people know. He's the guy that throws cards. You know, like they know that. And if you put Kit Harington, you said that today, and I just thought that was perfect because I have such a hard time with Gambit. I've always said that I wish Brad Pitt was 20 years younger because he's like the perfect Gambit the way he is in Once Upon. But that's the thing with Gambit, like he's kind of like a ruggedly handsome guy, and I'm like Dylan said that I thought that was pitch perfect. I could see him as long as he can learn how to do that southern drawl, he'll be perfect. He has the charisma when he's outside. Lots of people have been casting him as Wolverine, and I think it's just because he's 5'8", so he's a bit shorter, and he's like a bulky guy, and he has dark hair. I don't personally see it. I think Emily described him the best way. He's just a little meek for it. But here's the thing I will say: when Hugh Jackman got cast, everyone just knew him from Broadway stuff. So at the end of the day, any actor could turn it on. And so like if he got cast as that, I wouldn't be, oh, this is terrible casting. It's just not a role right where I'm like, that's perfect casting. Where the Gambit, I heard even something as Cyclops, like okay, he's a leader of a team.
Cyclops would be my number 2 pick.
Yeah, like there's other roles where I think he could fit in. Where Wolverine, I just feel it's very obvious. You see it and you're just like, oh, it has to be Wolverine. And maybe it is. Maybe he walks up tomorrow on stage with a pair of claws. And like that's
I almost feel like they're going to go with a bigger star for Cyclops because I feel like
I agree.
I feel like he's never really had the time of day. He was horribly misused in the X-Men 100%. Movies, and I think you need like someone big. I think when they use him in the MCU, they're gonna make him the leader like he should be, like he is in the comics.
Oh, I'm on that bandwagon too. I think Wolverine doesn't need to be around for a while. You can wait. People are never gonna be like, oh, Wolverine, they didn't do it for 5 years, I'm done with it. Like even look at, wasn't even our radar, but Blade. Look, that one announcement, everyone's like, oh my god, this is so exciting.
Right.
That's all it takes. And with Wolverine, I feel like you could get a big name, but you could also get a no name, kind of like Hugh Jackman was. It's a big enough character where like no one knew who Tom Holland was when he got cast Spider-Man, right?
I'm guessing they're just, I know it's technically different studios, but some of the Disney umbrella, they're probably a bit scared with Solo, right? Because that's like a risky move. You're recasting this big character after they just had their like, multiple decade long story end, and then you just recast it like the next year.
Yeah.
Now, obviously there's different
he's not
factors at play, but it's still
like
that's really hard shoes to follow, and hard shoes to fill rather.
hard shoes to follow.
It's just not a good idea right now. Like just wait a bit.
You have X-Men.
X-Men just has like pages and pages worth of characters to pull from.
Yeah.
And MCU, I think they should pull some fresh characters in there, but even just take a Gambit, take a Cyclops who haven't really seen the big screen, like who haven't had the glory of the big screen that Wolverine has had, and do something fun with it.
All you need is one end credit scene X-Men movie of like, oh, we found this facility, Weapon X, and boom, people like, oh, Wolverine, like he can be excitable at any time. So I'm excited to see tomorrow if we hear anything, because tomorrow, and we'll start talking about the stuff they announced today, but I think we're definitely getting some movies tomorrow, at least one, because they at Comic-Con said, oh, this is, and I didn't look it up yet, so I probably won't on this cast because I don't want to like break the fluidity, but at Comic-Con, they're like, this is all the TV shows. They didn't say it, but they made it seem like these are all our shows for Disney+.
Here's the slate, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Ms. Marvel are further away, and they're just in development now, or they're going into pre-production, but still, they announce them, and they saved 3 things. I don't know if there's 3 movies tomorrow, but there's definitely some things tomorrow. I don't know if that's a date on Blade.
Do you want to hop into that right away? Just talk about.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing with Spider-Man possibly being up in air. We don't know. There's rumors going around that they're trying to close the deal before tomorrow morning. They got till 10 a.m. So they got just over 12 hours.
Man, if that happens and it was like all Disney just doing this for like publicity stunt, I would. Oh man, that'd be so annoying because like just to fuck over Sony as well.
Yeah.
Just for this like big reveal, I don't know. That seemed pretty scummy to me.
But who knows? Maybe they both saw the press and they're like, hey, let's really figure this out. That's all I hope. And I hope that it's just something, I hope it's something they're both happy with and it happens.
Yeah.
But let's say it doesn't happen. We kind of talked about this on the Comic-Con one that in July 2021, there's no movie there. The only thing in summer 2021 for Marvel is the What If show. And that's not big enough for them. They've always had a movie in the summer. Ant-Man, Spider-Man.
Especially with like all this live action stuff that exists, right? They want something like that as well.
Exactly. So that's why I do wonder if they're trying to lock it down before D23, because if not, I think they're going to slide something in there. And I've been saying this, and I guess we're doing little predictions for tomorrow, but this has to do with the TVs. I've been saying all day, I think it's going to be Deadpool. I just think that's the most recent one. That's the one everyone just keeps saying.
It's the easiest one to work in. I mean, that's just the nature of a fourth wall breaking character.
Yeah.
You can put them absolutely anywhere and make it work.
He can comment that, oh, this is a spot Spider-Man was supposed to be in, or like somebody was supposed to be in, because they couldn't say that. And I think, let's say this is a situation where Spider-Man is gone. I think why we're getting a big announcement tomorrow, no matter what, we might have got one, but why we're definitely getting one is let's say the deal falls apart, they want to make you look at something else. They, look at the shiny thing. And if Deadpool is announced as a movie, that would be big enough. But if he's announced to be in the MCU, that's massive.
Yeah, they'll get Ryan Reynolds on stage. He'll do a funny bit. He'll make fun of Kevin Feige or something.
Oh yeah, 100%. He'll have a hat on his own, a Deadpool hat.
He'll have the Feige like mask, like the Wolverine mask. Yeah. Deadpool too.
But yeah, any quick things you think that could happen tomorrow before we get into the stuff that announced today?
I think you're spot on with Deadpool. It's the easiest one, guaranteed. Honestly, I feel like there is a chance they mention X-Men, but I almost, well, obviously, oh shit, pants low in the house. I almost want. I don't know. I want to pace myself with this news, but at the same time, I'm not going to be mad if they announce X-Men. But maybe just more Fantastic Four news, because that was pretty much just like a soft announcement at Comic-Con.
Just as we're working on it.
There wasn't really any substance to it, so it'd be nice if they dropped like some casting, directing, whatever it is.
I think you could get.
Cool.
I think the only thing you might get is a cast, and maybe your John Krasinski walks out there.
Yeah, and Emily Blunt, the combo.
That's what everyone wants. Yeah.
It just makes too much sense.
So then today we'll get into some of the news. Let me go and find what. Let's just start off because I'm gonna find it. But Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Moon Knight's been announced.
The Crescent God.
Yeah, this has been a fan favorite of the Geekverse for a while. We're just having a great year with Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
The year of Morbius, the year of Moon Knight, just not what I was
Taskmaster.
expecting.
Yeah. All these minor people. We just need Feige to buy Hannibal and resurrect it. That's the only thing that's left in the Geekverse world.
Make like Caecilius, like in his past life, he was Hannibal.
Madness of the Multiverse. Doctor Strange at one point goes into
that's
there.
That's the what if I want to see.
Yeah, and Will's like, who are you? And he's bugging out. But Moon Knight is one of my favorite Marvel characters. I'm very excited, and this one I'm going to throw to you because this, I also think as a TV show is a good call because this is a really leveled character. This is a character at times who is split personality disorder. He's schizophrenic, but that's the thing where I think as a TV show this works better. I also think as a movie, I honestly don't think he's a big enough name to open it. People will throw the Guardians and Ant-Man at me. I get it, but still, if you're thinking about the levels of it, I think Moon Knight TV is perfect, and they've said multiple times that these are not like the Netflix shows. He could cross over, come over. You don't think there's a chance Moon Knight and Blade might be popping off together, those Marvel Knights?
That was definitely cruising around in my brain, yeah.
So what I'll throw to you is there's two versions of Moon Knight. That when he was created, he started as a war vet, he became a mercenary, he ended up in Egypt, and he almost got nearly killed, and he was taken to this...
That's fucking wild.
Oh, yeah. He has a crazy story. He gets taken to this temple by these, like, prophets, and these gods supposedly put these powers in him and say, you're, like, our prophet now, and you're representing the gods, and that's how he gets the... I think I'm saying right, the Kung Shu powers and, like, the moon crescents and all that. And
that actually happened, or that's in his head?
Well, this is the thing. And when it started, I think that's what actually happened. And then what happened is he came back as Mark Spector, and he created two identities as well. Jake Lockley, he's a cab driver, so he did that so he could kind of hear what's going on in the streets and stuff like that. So he'd be picking up some scuzzy people, ask them for questions, just in general conversation. And then there's another personality or persona he created called Stephen Grant, and he's like a philanthropist because he took all these jewels from Egypt and became a billionaire. So that's the OG version. But now, in one of my favorite runs, and we're gonna read this, we're probably gonna do a comic book show in 2020. Look out! But they took it and they made it that those personalities, those personas are split personalities. So there's like Stephen Grant now is a movie producer, and like Mark Spector is a crazy guy in an asylum, and then Jake Lockley is still the cab driver, and then you have Moon Knight and these like Egyptian gods in him. What do you think's the route they're going to go? Are they going to go with kind of the almost Batman detective approach of this guy taking on different personas to fight crime? Or are they going to go the schizophrenic? Because that's the thing I've always loved, and I'm showing my hand what I want, but I love that they always play up in these newer runs, especially the 2016 run, is are these gods actually given powers, or is he just a fucking crazy guy? And they never answer that. They let that up to you. And
I would hope they keep it ambiguous.
Yeah, and we're fans of Hannibal, and that's the way I would love if Brian Fuller, who did Hannibal, run this show. But the way with Will, when he never knew what was what, that's Mark Spector. And that's what I was going to ask you. What do you think they'll go? Because that schizophrenic thing, I think, is very popular right now for the character, not in the world.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different can of worms for Disney. It's a bit deeper than just a guy being like, I'm going to create 3 different personas to hide behind, right? So what are you thinking?
I think that fits more into the realm of like the realism, I guess you could say, that's established in the MCU, instead of like having some Egyptian gods that are giving him some otherworldly powers. Like, yes, obviously there is aliens.
We
and
are
Thor
getting vampires
and
though now too.
Oh shit, that's correct.
Right?
Yeah,
we're getting weird.
Honestly, Blade cracks open the can on just like
absurdity
is now welcomed and probably just around the corner. I don't know. I think. I guess when I picture Moonlight, I've always thought like, oh man, he could have fit in well with those Netflix shows. I will say I don't really know a whole lot about the character. What I know is pretty much what I've heard Travis talk about the last couple of years. Really, I didn't even know who he was until Ultimate Alliance. The first one, now he's lengthily getting added
nunchucks
in just a couple of months to Ultimate Alliance 3. But I don't really know too much about the character. But I would say I want it to be more grounded and like based in real life, and he's just kind of like a crazy guy.
Yeah, who may or may not have powers.
Like I very much picture the Marvel Netflix shows, and I think that kind of aesthetic would work with that. And then that's fun because you could play it off, and that could work with like he could go into a movie someday. He could be a villain, he could be a good guy, or he could just be like an anti-hero somewhere in between. And that could be really fun. You have someone like, and honestly, you could change it from movie to movie. He could come back, he could pop in and out, and it's just really exciting because it is such an out there character.
Oh yeah, and it's one that I think we genuinely like. I would put him in the Blade category too when it was announced. We want Moon Knight, but I always thought there was a chance this didn't happen. Or if you look at Hulu has 3 Marvel shows happening in the future. One of them is Ghost Rider, and to me and those aren't connected to the MCU at all. And that to me shows those are clearly the toys Kevin Feige has no interest in. And I apologize to Ghost Rider fans and Taylor, but I've always gotten that vibe from Feige where he's like, nah, I'm not real. That's not something I want in here. Mm-hmm. Him even being just in the Disney Plus. Moon Knight is a Disney app show. That shows that whether he's
pretty wild.
Well,
honestly.
yeah, and that's another thing I want to throw out. This is reported by Deadline, which is weird. There's been talks of doing a Defenders-like team, but the Defenders in the comics were like Doctor Strange, the Hulk, and there's rumors going around now that they're going to have like a Defenders-like movie that are going to take maybe the weird outcast characters. So when we were like, oh, will Blade be in the Avengers? He might not be. He might be in this like because what was the rumored roster that was going around was Doctor Strange, Valkyrie, Hulk, and Deadpool, and even Luke Cage when his rights came up. Moon Knight, Blade could easily fit in that team, and then you kind of have that.
It
Guardians
makes more
thing.
sense too, right? Because like.
Yeah. The outcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And
the weirdos.
And even then, like Blade, like why you'd have to think about some of these cosmic things. Like obviously everyone should care if Thanos is going to snap you potentially away, but a lot of it's like, why would Blade care about that? He's
many vampires?
Yeah, like how many vampires does Thanos have in his control? Yeah.
He got
0? I don't care.
He got 80%? He's fine. I'm not going after him. See ya.
He'll snap away all the vampires. I don't want those anyway.
Thanos, I'll give you the stones. He's got to snap away those vampires. Not my mother, though. Don't do it. But yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting if they do a team-up movie like that in... like on the app, because that just seems like crazy. Like
I don't think they do the movie on the app. I think they would do the movie in theatrical, and that'd be your way to bring in Moon Knight. And it's kind of like what they're doing with Scarlet Witch, right?
Yeah, because that's like if that is the case,
but they're doing that with Witch, right? They said that show connects to Doctor Strange, so they're gonna be they're experimenting.
It's gonna be relevant, yeah.
And we're gonna talk about it in a second. But Feige did go on record. He said Miss Marvel will be in movies. She's not just a TV show.
Right,
so they're experimenting, and they're literally telling you of like, we hope you enjoyed the Infinity Saga, but if you want to get the full journey again, you got to get this app, you know? Like, that's the thing.
And it's a good way for them to experiment. Obviously on an app like this, they can see the exact stats of who's watching, who's interested in what. And maybe
that's a good
point.
Maybe
people don't like Moon Knight. Maybe they just do one season. Maybe he's not part of the team up. Maybe they kill him off, whatever. And they can make that decision in time.
He's a small enough character. He's a New York crime fighter. Like, obviously, sometimes he's empowered by Egyptian gods, but like the deal is that if he is just fighting crime in New York, he doesn't have to be a part of something, you know. Or even then, just like the way when when the portals happen in Endgame, he could just, if that a moment like that happened again, he could come out for a little bit and fight.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's the perfect thing. You finally, it's just like more fun little Easter eggs to point out in those like big team up movies if they want to use it. But that's also like a great segue into potentially like other, eventually they're going to get the Defenders back, that they can use those again. And who knows, maybe obviously they're not going to do a Defenders again. Well, maybe that's not obvious. I don't know if they will, but
because they said a Defenders,
but they're going to have
team,
set up that like that Marvel Knights,
the darker MCU,
New York crime scene, and that could be really fun. They could do their own Kingpin at some point.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that, because to me, like that Daredevil and whatnot, it's still like is the MCU, but now it's not. It kind of sucks. But
yeah, well it is.
I guess that's not coming back, so I might as well start moving on.
Yeah, and it is tough because I feel like, and this is no big spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home, so skip if you want to, but I don't know whether there was Sony or MCU, but we did see JK come back as J. Jonah Jameson, right?
True. Yeah.
I don't think that'd be the case for Charlie Cox, but they have shown at least that it's not impossible and they're willing to bring someone back. He'd be completely new Daredevil, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But it's funny in that report today that Luke Cage was thrown around, because I think the rumor is still that they got about 2 more years until they can use those characters. So there's a time where
honestly that doesn't even feel like that long, considering like how much content they have, how much they would have like lined up, and how they're gonna have to spread it evenly.
Disney Plus shows coming,
Yeah,
and one of them's Moon Knight,
and then there's even like some random movies, like not Marvel movies, but other movies just on there.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
And there's so much news that dropped today, but that was for me the most exciting, just because, like I said, him being on Disney,
and that logo is godlike.
Oh yeah, him being on Disney Plus to me, and like that's the thing. If the Feige is producing and overseeing stuff, to me that shows he cares about that character.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing, because I think he could easily been a Hulu show, and I think there's a chance that if Netflix was still going, he could have been a Netflix show. And now that we saw what happened, I'm glad he wasn't, because they got cut off, right? They were not on the portal, so very exciting. True. I'm excited to see what they do with the show. I'm excited once they start announcing like directors, cast. Who knows? Because at the very beginning of Moon Knight, he was just a guy, but then eventually they did go into he's Jewish, and that came in a lot more. So I think they will go with the Jewish actor, which would be big because there's not many Jewish superheroes, if any, out there. So I think they will do that. And at that point,
and even Kamala as well, she's Muslim, right?
Yeah. And then She-Hulk's green, But green. But
we have enough green. We got Gamora, we got Hulk.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of green people.
But yeah, I'm excited for Moon Knight. I'm just excited to start hearing news about that show now. I think it'll still be a way off. But
it's like I was saying earlier, how Blade like really cracked open the can of like, okay, these possibilities have changed so much now. 100%. Moon Knight does that like 10 times higher. Like there's not really, I can't think of another character that like I wouldn't consider as a possibility to them now. There's obviously there's stuff like you're saying, like Hulu, like obviously those characters are kind of gone for now, but really there's like, who won't they do at this point?
Oh no, I agree with you 100%. I think now we'll look at Comic-Con.
Like Squirrel Girl, that show's happening in 3 years.
Oh yeah, I think now we'll always look at Comic-Con when they announce Blade as that like changing point of like, we're getting even more weirder. So talking about weird, because I'll save her last. She-Hulk coming. I don't know that much about her. She's Bruce's cousin. She's a lawyer, and because I've seen her in
Bruce's
crossovers.
Cousin. Okay.
Yeah, she's Bruce's cousin. Yeah, I've seen her in crossovers. I've never once read a She-Hulk comic. I always say this. I do when we get closer stuff, just so I can get more affiliated with them. But I think that's cool. I think lots of people have been asking for that series. I think it's something different. I think they'll kind of make it an actual like kind of law procedural a little bit, because she's a lawyer. So. And I think this is where we work in Hulk, because everyone was wondering what's going to happen. And that's the thing that we've talked about this cast before. They can't put out a film of the Hulk, but I was always wondering
what... They can do a She-Hulk show.
Well, yeah, and I was always wondering what can they do with a TV show, and I think he'll be in this series. And especially because Endgame, we've gone back and forth, but it looks like he's not exactly in fighting shape right now. So if he's just kind of helping her out, I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know much about her origin, to be honest. I'm very unfamiliar with this character.
Do you think they'll go with the cousin route in this as well? Because I think about it, like, what has Bruce got going on for big connections in the MCU? Well, Black Widow was the big one. She's gone now.
Well, the way you say that makes me think then they would, to give him something, right? Because he does not.
That's really it. Because I mean, it was Black Widow was the big one, and then even him and Tony had like some good moments together as well with the big brains and whatnot. Now that both those characters are gone, he kind of needs something to do, and I thought it would be cool if he was still bumping around with the Avengers, but
he still might.
If they want to do a full new team of Avengers without any of the original characters, then heck, they have enough characters now. They're building towards enough that they don't need to do that anymore. And I think this is a perfect place for him to go.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. So I'll read her origin because, like I said, I don't know much about She-Hulk. Following an injury, Walters, her name is Jennifer Walters, by the way, received an emergency blood transfusion from her cousin Bruce Banner. Seems like a terrible idea, and acquired a mild version of the Hulk condition. As such, Walter becomes a large, powerful, green-hued version of the Hulk, while still largely retaining her personality. In particular, she retains her intelligence and emotional control. Unlike the Hulk, like the Hulk, she still becomes stronger if enraged. In later issues of comics, her transformation is permanent. So I wonder where they're gonna go. Oh, she's a member. She's been a member of the Avengers.
I thought it was permanent. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been a member of Avengers, Fantastic Four, Shield, Defenders, highly skilled lawyer.
Block,
yeah, she's served as legal counsel of various superheroes on numerous occasions. So, yeah, I think this show could go anywhere. I think they will, like you said, because she has not much going on. I think they'll do the cousin route. I think that origin might get changed up a bit because that sounds like a very cheesy. Oh, like when she debuted.
Well,
the 80s.
They almost can't do that.
Yeah, she debuted in the 80s. Yeah.
Obviously everyone knows like these Avengers aren't in hiding, so everyone knows Bruce is the Hulk. So I don't know. They can't like. It's clearly a bad idea to do that blood transfusion.
So yeah, they'll change up a bit, which they do in shows like Scarlet Witch's origins different,
that's
right?
Totally
so,
fine, yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for those fans. I'm gonna read Warren too. I've never known that much other than she was a female version of Hulk and she was a lawyer, and you'd see her pop up in court. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool as well.
More Hulk, the better.
Sure, why not?
And then finally, not for the whole show, but for the shows they announced, is Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
It's funny we just talked about this other Spider-Man because I said with Spidey potentially gone, they need to hit that young demo and. This is a character people have been talking about for a while. I think this is the perfect route. I know some people are worried because, it's not a movie. I just thought it's the same way as Miles in live action. You got to build up to him. And when people be like, she has to be in the sequel, I still think we need more time with Carol. And I thought introducing Kamala right now.
That's true, yeah.
Excuse me. I just thought it would be too much right now. So I honestly think we will get a Captain Marvel by herself, a second one. In Captain Marvel 3, I think she will come in here. But I think the series will introduce her because I think
she'll definitely be part of the Avengers at some point.
Oh, yeah. Or whatever spin-off they have. And
the new Avengers, the young Avengers.
Yeah.
The dark Avengers.
I think this is the right route. I think get her into the movies that way. I just thought the way it just felt like because she's a really popular character right now, people wanted her to be forced into Captain Marvel, which I get, but at the same time, I just didn't see from that last movie we got, Captain Marvel, where she fit right now. But a TV show, I think that's perfect. She'll be a fangirl. She'll get hit with the Tear-Jerking Mist, I guess. And
full origin story.
Another one that's having a big year. In Marvel Ultimate Alliance, she's apparently going to be in Marvel's Avengers. Those are rumors going around. And now she's getting a TV show.
I'm really excited for this one as well as Moon Knight, just because I only know a little bit about the characters. A lot of it is... I played with her Ultimate Alliance for the last month, so I know what her powers are now.
She's fun.
And then you get like just a tiny glimpse of what her character is like in that game. So I'm super excited because she seems like a really interesting character, and she's definitely gonna have a big future. It looks like so.
Yeah,
I think this is a fun pick.
They announced
her costume's great. She just has an awesome look.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm all for it. That's the thing. Like all these, they're just hinting it around. The shows that they did talk about, they talked about Falcon and Winter Soldier. They confirmed Loki was 6 episodes. They looks like the villain for Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be the U.S. agent. So
I saw that today. I was like, that's the stupidest name ever.
Well, it's kind of supposed to be like that. So he is supposed to be the government's answer to Captain America, and lo and behold, it goes wrong. And it's funny, we did hear rumors about that a few months ago, right, of a experiment gone wrong, and he's a person that it's happened before. Sometimes he's turned good, but that's exactly it, where he's very patriotic, but he'll do anything it takes in the maybe bad way. And he's going to be played by...
He's like a Trump supporter, kind of.
Well, maybe. He is going to be played by Wyatt Russell. I don't know if you remember him, but he was in Playtest and Black Mirror that episode.
Like the main guy?
Yeah. He's Kurt Russell's kid, yeah. He's playing
that's awesome. He's also in...
Overlord, which you and I haven't watched yet, right?
He's in a comedy. What comedy is it? It's 22 Jump Street.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I've forgotten. But yeah, so he's playing U.S. agent. So he's going to be... That's what it sounds like, because those are rumors back a month ago that the government is going to create something that they want to be Captain America, even though Falcon got the shield. So I think it's going to be this kind of back and forth of this part of the shield or government wants Sam, this wants U.S. agent. And I think that's kind of fun. I think it... I think it's a good idea, and I think that makes sense in the world they live in, that they'd want to put in this new guy, and he's going to go a little crazy, and they already confirmed, like, Sharon Carter's come back and stuff like that. We knew that in rumors, but, and Zemo, I don't know how he functions in this now, because I thought he was going to be the main villain, but it looks like we got a few popping off.
Yeah, well, once again, Zemo could just be kind of how he was in Civil War, just kind of like a mastermind.
Yeah.
And then you need some meat. You need a heavy to do the combat scenes. And I guess U.S. Agent is going to be that. And I don't think they'll use that name. It's just kind of cheesy. It could still be that character without using like the official name, right?
Yeah, true. They might change it, but yeah, I'm trying to think what they might. But yeah, I'm excited.
Be careful! U.S. Agent is coming over the on down the street.
It's
fight him.
It's a fun little deep cut for Captain America fans, and I think it's good casting too. That guy's a good actor, so
yeah, I'm cool with that casting.
Yeah, and then the other thing they announced for WandaVision is Darcy from the Thor movies is coming back, and Jimmy Woo, Randall Park from Ant-Man, the guy that Agent Shield was just like, you want to get lunch? Oh no, you did that guy.
The like house arrest cop.
Yeah. They're both coming back for WandaVision, so that's interesting. I'm
happy about him.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes sense. She's like scientist kind of.
Yeah, those Thor movies definitely are kind of a blind spot in my memory. But I just remember the writing for that character was very bad in previous times. Now, a lot has changed since that time. I can't remember the last time there's been a bad MCU movie. Like their quality has just been so high lately, the last few years. So, I mean, I'm not like worried. It's just like I'm not excited at all because I don't care about that character.
Yeah.
And honestly, if she had died and I just forgot about it, I wouldn't be shocked if someone told me that. Like I don't remember what the last thing she did in the MCU movies was.
Thor: Dark World.
Yeah, but like what is her last scene? Like where does she leave off?
She has an intern of her own and they're romantically linked and it's bad.
That sounds awful.
So here's my thing. I'm not a fan of even Randall Park, who I love, but I'm not a big that his humor in that movie was kind of a 60-40. Sometimes it really hit and then other times like, oh, I don't know. But the thing is, even if I don't love these characters, I think they'll be minor roles.
Oh yeah.
And I just love that these minor characters are getting brought back in these shows,
it's like a Turk, Turk he was always around 100%. Popping up in these shows, and I just want to see. I'm really happy about that connectivity. Even things like Zemo coming back, like it's just gonna make it like these shows feel really important. They don't feel like they're kind of pushed to the side like Marvel Netflix was, because it was different people making those shows.
It feels like
it's under that Feige hat.
And and I know it sounds stupid, but it legitimately feels like a comic book. It feels like when you just see characters pop up, or even in really well-made video games, when other characters are just popping up in this story and this story here, the world just feels more lived in and fleshed out. And it's like, that's what I've always said, like you don't, and this is why I'm always like for not killing villains or people, it's like, why if you need some scientist character, be like, oh, let's just find someone else, get a new actor. No, use someone that has in the past. And like Kat Dennings, like also not a big fan of the role, but she's a bigger actress. At least like she has a successful show, so people know her name.
Sure.
It's another face on a poster, right? That helps. And for fanboys like us, it's like, oh, it's that character. So I just love that's what's happening. They are doing this, and they described WandaVision as the show is half a sitcom and half epic Marvel movie. I don't know what that means, but sure.
I don't know if I like that.
I think I get what they're trying to...
There's some red flags for this, unfortunately.
Really? I think I get what they're going for as far as the Wanda and Vision part's going to feel like kind of a rom-com sort of deal. I think... Okay. You don't trust them?
Well, yeah. Like, Marvel hasn't proven me wrong in a long time, so yes, like, right now I'm just at the baseline where I trust them.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Those are some weird characters to join the show. That's, like, not what I was expecting, I guess, but... Yeah. Not every... I don't want every show to be super serious at the same time, because I feel like Hawkeye's show will be pretty serious. Loki's...
It's not going to have a laugh track.
I mean, Loki's will be kind of funny, I guess, but I feel like there's just a lot of dark stuff going on in this Bucky show as well.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know why I call it the Bucky show.
The Bucky show?
Sorry, Falcon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess, it's good to throw a more comedic focused show. I just didn't think that would be the one.
Yeah.
WandaVision. So
I think it'll start comedic, but then get pretty dark and twisty, I think it's going to start...
You don't think it's going to start dark with Vision being dead?
Well, I think it will, but he'll bring back and it'll be like, oh, it's great. Like, this is fantastic. And then Vision starts to lose it a little bit and say, okay. Really bad idea that we brought him back.
Again,
yeah. Really bad idea. Maybe it's Ultron. I think that was it for the Marvel stuff for TV shows as of right now. I'm going through... we talked about the What Ifs already. Those pictures were cool that they released. I think that's
I like the art style of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if each episode will be different.
I have to
art style?
I think I've heard that it's not. I think it's all like that.
Okay.
So I think they're not taking the Love, Death Robots. I have to see it in motion because I kind of like it, but I don't know how it works. So I feel like in motion, I got to see, does this look nice or was this just a cheap way for them to get it done? Because it looks nice, but it also looks like it was pretty...
It's not terribly unique.
No,
for sure.
no. So
it doesn't have the Disney Pixar studio animation quality.
Oh, I know we couldn't have got that, but that would have been incredible.
That'd be
let's move on to the big War of Stars going on.
War of the Stars.
Not many announcements, just 3, but there are bigger ones. One, which I'm very excited for my own sanity. Clone Wars is coming out February. For a little insider, you could look. Then now we're back to Clone Wars is dropping twice or 3 times a month for you guys, so you can get caught up before the show comes out. But we had to take a break in summer because we were just getting crammed with content, and I was just me and Taylor were so worried that show's going to drop in November because we got 3 seasons left to watch, and we're like, we're just going to have to do a weekend of binging. But in February. Don't worry, the show's not going anywhere. It's going to keep dropping. It gives me more time. So that's coming in February. And I think that's good because I've been talking about that for months, that in November 12th is Mandalorian. November 15th is Jedi Fallen Order. And then the month after, literally the month after, is Episode 9. That is
not well spaced out Star Wars
That's
content.
enough content. So if Clone Wars also came out time period, something's going to get lost. So I think that's a nice little thing. Like, February, right after the hype's down, here's some Star Wars. And like I said in the group chat, if all the stuff is good, I think the lull Star Wars has kind of been happening, that they can bring the fans back, And this is where I wanted to start before getting to Mandalorian with Obi Wan. That I feel that I'm excited for the Mandalorian. The show Cassian, I'm excited because I like that actor, but that's not a show I really need. I'll watch it for the cast. But I think with Obi Wan,
does that one have a release date?
They're filming next year, so I would imagine probably 2021-ish. The thing that I thought that Star Wars needs to start doing, and I think they're going to, is you look at Blade, you look at Moon Knight, you look at even Feige going, Fantastic Four coming. Marvel has just perfected the fan service. What do fans want? Feige's not an idiot. He's on Twitter. He knows people have been like, man, I hope we do get Moon Knight at some point. Star Wars for a while to me hasn't been doing that, and I like most of the movies that they put out, but something like Solo, I don't think many people won that movie, but I felt they looked at a dartboard and they did the Disney, like you're talking about, but they did it before of like, who's popular character? Solo? Let's just make a movie of him. Kenobi is a popular character, but I felt like you could clearly see there's been an outcry since these movies got bought that everyone wants, like, Ewan McGregor's the right age. He's still around. Like, let's do it. Like, and look at someone like Heath Ledger. Shit happens. Like, let's do it while he's around.
Yeah.
And it always just felt like, we're doing Solo and we're doing Cassian.
Solo is just silly because it really undermines the death of him, which was like
100%.
literally the year before, 2 years before.
Yeah, let it have some weight,
Yeah,
like,
seriously. Like Harrison Ford came back to close out this character. Like, just fucking let it breathe,
So Obi-Wan, to me, that has been the rainbow at the end of the tunnel, like the rainbow at the end. What the fuck was I talking about? I do it, you did
the cheese at the end of the
gold at the end of the rainbow. But it's one of those that you can never reach the rainbow and you don't know it's true. People have been talking about Obi-Wan for years. How many times have we talked about the cast? It's been rumored. There was a movie. There was this. This was great. Yeah. She finally came out stage and said, the scripts are written. Ewan's back. We're shooting next year. It's happening. And I think this is a step that Star Wars is going to start taking now, that the saga movies, we'll see what JJ does, but I think going forward, these TV shows, these spin-offs, they're going to start going, what do the fans actually want? They're going to try their best to make them a good show or a good movie, but Obi-Wan is a clear, the fans have been talking about this forever. Let's just do it and give it to him. Ewan's here, and I hope this is the step to that. Because if we didn't get this announcement, I was gonna be really bummed. But now I feel like we're gonna get if people want a Darth Maul show, or if they want Knights of the Old Republic. I think we're getting that. They need to take a cue from Marvel of doing that mic drop of, you guys want this? Guess what? We're doing it. It's Mahershala Ali, and I think this was there. It was rumored and coming out, so it didn't have the same effect. But this was, I hope, the step of, hey, we're doing it, and Ewan's here, and it's official. There's no rumors, so I'm excited for that. How do you feel about this? Because you're not as big as Star Wars, and obviously prequels are a little.
Obi-Wan doesn't have a special place in my heart. Like I haven't reserved that spot from. I can only reserve so many slots, and Obi-Wan unfortunately does not get one. But what I think is good about it is it's just the idea of what are these live action shows they're doing for Star Wars right away? One, Mandalorian, a fresh new idea. Yes, it's gonna have some characters that we've seen before, gonna be in the same timeline we've seen before, but it's still a fresh new idea.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan is okay, this is a story that maybe we didn't necessarily need, but it's one that people want.
Yeah.
And it's there actually is a good story to be told there potentially. You look at Solo or Rogue One, it's do we really need those stories? Like, did those need to be told?
No.
What do those do for the greater Star Wars canon? Well, they do very little. Like, I don't think anyone needed to see how Star Wars or how Solo got his name or how like the plans. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I think that's good that they're doing a little bit of new and a little bit of old. I wouldn't say I'm really excited for Obi-Wan just because I don't know. I don't have that nostalgia for him like other people do, but I think that's great for Star Wars fans because from what I've seen from just talking with you guys and how much Star Wars comes up on the podcast, I feel like Obi-Wan is kind of like the number one slot of like what people wanted or what character they wanted to see more of, what character they want to come back. So it seems like the perfect choice from my perspective over here in the Star Wars casual fandom.
Yeah, and I think it's a good call because
and the casting, right? It's like keeping the same actor. It's really going to feel like it's the same character, and let's close out the character storyline. Let's just do some more adventures. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be something they're going to do multiple seasons of? Is it going to be like just a one season to kind of close out the character like we kind of had for Solo, and I guess Leia still is kind of in suspension right now for exactly.
Yeah, true, because we don't know. Yeah, it's tough because I could see either or, but if I had a gun to my head, I think I would say it's going to do just a one miniseries, one and done, almost like a Loki. I've always pitched this, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I've pitched this as like the Logan of Star Wars because this is a guy. He's on a desert planet for 30 years. He's just stuck there. And maybe this is what the show, maybe he does leave it. I'm not the biggest fan of that idea, but I can be sold. But the way that I look at it is, if you look at Logan, how depressed he is, you think about his past. This is a guy, the prequels, not good movies. But if you always do what I say is like, just take away the execution. Just think about like what the story actually is. This is a guy that everybody he knew was murdered and massacred around him and is just gone. And then 2, his Padawan, like I said, not written the best, but the guy that he considered a brother, turned on him. He killed his own wife.
There's still good moments within that story, even though it's really messily done.
And then Obi-Wan had to chop him to a branch and watch him burn alive. This guy has to be messed up just sitting there the way I think is just Obi-Wan just has a lot of PTSD, and I want to see him working through that because there's a point in the Star Wars New Hope when someone calls him Obi-Wan. He's like, I haven't heard that name in a long time. I feel like there's a part of Obi-Wan that after that happens, he just kind of just locked it away because like I said, in a real world sense, if you think all your friends are dying, your best friend turned on you, killed his own wife, you had to kill him, that's a lot of stuff to go through.
It's pretty dark.
And I think that's why you could really, I think this is going to be, you'll get a lightsaber, you'll get this and that, but I think this is maybe some Grievous like Taylor's been hinting about, but I think
guaranteed confirmed.
Yeah, you hear these rumors, but I think this is going to be a full-on character study of what happens after all that, because the prequels do end and then they just end. To me, that's why I hated the placing of them, because this huge event happens, but you don't get to sit with it because the movie ends. You move on. And like even just the little thing of the last time he saw Anakin, he was burning, he was dying. He thinks he's dead. There's going to be a moment in this show. That's why, I'm getting goosebumps. He's going to find out that Vader's alive, and then there's going to be a point either he'll sense it or maybe he is doing some missions, and if he finds out that's Anakin, that has to be a huge moment for him to think, man, I thought Anakin's been dead and he's this like robot guy now. Like there's so many little things they can do to really make it a rich character. And the good thing, Ewan McGregor is a great actor, so they're set. And the other thing that's funny is this is like the first really acknowledging of the prequels for them, because this is taking an actor from the prequels and doing it. Like they've talked about them, but really you look at all these movies, they've really ignored those 3 movies because of the reception they got, right? But this is a full-on, you can't ignore them now. You got to watch those 3 movies. So I think this has great
fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I just think this has great potential to be, like I said, the first Star Wars doesn't really do big character studies. That's why I like Kylo Ren, because to me it's the first character they've really taken time with and been like, why is this guy, he's not just a bad guy who kills like good people. Why does he do that? And they kind of show you that. Hopefully get more in episode 9. I want to see this too, of like what happens in 30 years when you're just stuck on a rock and you're alone. You're just watching a kid hoping he doesn't get killed, and maybe bring back Joel Edgerton because he plays Uncle Owen. So there's always a chance, you never know. So
please bring him back.
So yeah, I think it just has unlimited potential.
Actually, put him in the MCU. Don't busy him with Star Wars. Put him in
I
the
think
MCU.
it's the same way when I always talk about like, Joker or like Logan when it's coming out. I think this has that potential for Star Wars where like this is the show that could get nominated for Emmys. They could just take the approach where, he's on a starfighter and he's good, but I don't think that's the show they're going to do. I think they're going to do a really kind of docile, kind of like gunslinger, I hope, but I don't want to get my expectations too high. But I think there's lots of potential, and that's what gets me excited.
I hopefully they see it because there's other Star Wars content that's coming out between Clone Wars, other live action shows, the movies, the next trilogy. Who knows?
Yeah, movies are coming out 2021.
There's a bunch of games coming out. Like there's so much that maybe they won't feel like there's a need to have a bunch of like classic Star Wars action scenes. Like every Star Wars movie seems to have some of these like. There's like check boxes they have to fulfill, and maybe because of the surrounding content, maybe they'll feel like they aren't obligated to do some of those certain things, and they can just focus on the character 100%.
I agree. Mandalorian. We've heard it seems like it's going to be one episode per premiere, so every week. So we're going to be probably doing those reviews one episode at a time, just because that's big appointment. You going to join us for that?
I would like to, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's maybe we'll try to do, like, that review, and then we'll plan out things on that day, like, after 9 and stuff to record.
It'll be tricky, but I don't know. I don't like the weekly thing.
Yeah, the good thing is only 8 episodes, so not too bad.
That's true.
Yeah. So, what do you think
when does that end?
Sometime either it's the 12th, so right before the new year or right after, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think about? Yeah, it's gonna be going during episode 9. But what do you think about the trailer? This is our first look at it, like officially. There's been leaked stuff, but this is the first good look at it. What do you think?
Okay, so right off the bat, one I love like the poster and like just the look of the logo. It's really nice. Okay, there's a couple things. One, I feel like there's some characters in this trailer that I don't really know the full story of. Just some other people. I'm like, I've seen these people before, but I don't remember like their full story.
All the characters that are in this are all minor characters. There are people that I like. There's a robot in there. He's like kind of a version of like an IG-88 thing.
Okay.
There's no one of huge note.
The one guy from Rogue One, right? Or am I
No, because this takes place after Return of the Jedi. So this is not the Dark Times anymore.
I swear I saw Saw Gerrera. Is that not the same?
No, that's not Saw Gerrera. That's the guy who played Gus from Breaking Bad. They have a similar haircut going on.
No, I saw him. I thought anyway.
No. All the prequel era characters or OG characters, they wouldn't be in this because this is before Force Awakens. So yeah.
So, one, Jon Favreau, that gives me a lot of big hope for this. I like that he wrote it. I don't know. Did he like direct these?
He's show running, so he's on set every day with direct. He's the Feige of the show.
Yeah, that's a good sign. That gets me really excited. Now, what gets me I don't want to say I'm worried or red flag, but what I'm getting major vibes from this was the same vibes I got from the Rogue One trailer, which was great. I love the Rogue One trailers. I thought that movie looked amazing. Before the movie coming out, you can go back and listen to these casts. I was like, this could be my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah. It was most definitely not. It was my least favorite.
You fell asleep?
I fell asleep. I really did not like the direction they took it. Every time I rewatched it, I've liked it less and less. Just a lot of useless characters, a useless story. What could have been dark, but it was just boring instead of actually dark. Mm-hmm. And I was getting like the same vibes that I got from not Rogue One, but Rogue One's trailer, which was like, okay, I like this. There's some mystery here. It looks a little bit darker. We got some characters we don't know about.
But you've been here before.
It looks mysterious, but I'm like, I've walked down this path before, and it didn't lead me well. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm worried because I honestly have a lot of faith in Jon Favreau to make something special here. Mm-hmm. So.
And I feel like it almost has to be. It's the first ever live action show, right? Like they gotta nail this one because if they don't, people I think that kills the hype for other shows. Even Obi Wan of like, oh, that show really stank, and her was just fine.
As for I guess there isn't really any characters that I latched onto. Our main character, the Mandalorian, I guess.
He has no name right now.
Very much like a Samus Aran, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That could be kind of fun. Like I don't know.
That's Pedro.
How much is Yeah. So how much is this character like going to speak in this show? Is he going to be very quiet, reserved? I guess I'm fine with that if that's the direction I want to take with it. But yeah, I don't know. It looks. I would say I'm cautiously curious at this point in time.
Okay.
But I'm more excited for this than Obi Wan.
Yeah. Fair enough. I loved the trailer. I agree. Taylor, he wanted us to say that he loved it. The music was really good. It felt like Star Wars, but felt like something different, which is good because I feel like with the spin-offs, we've all kind of said, oh, this part works, but then other than Taylor, he's loved them all. But there's been like Rogue One score really bothered me. I was not a fan. So I feel like it's hard because for decades, only John Williams did the music. It's one guy, and he's one of the greatest composers, if not the greatest. So I like the music. The look was a lot better. Of course, because I'm a fan, I had to watch it. I watched the leak trailer when when it came out, Star Wars Celebration. And me and Kyle, we were on the cast. We were talking about that the ships and the flying, they looked a little fan filmy, and we were a little worried. These effects look a lot better. So clearly that's the result of 2 months of work and even more so. So that was my biggest concern is I just don't want this to look like a really good YouTuber made it, you know, because we've never seen this before, and sometimes that can happen.
You don't want it to feel dumbed down because that would take away from the Star Wars aesthetic.
Yeah. And I'm down for this show. I think it's just kind of almost what we talked about before is like Obi Wan, but this is different gunslinger. If he's not the last gunslinger, he's just a guy. He's a Red Dead Redemption. He's a John Marston. He's a bounty hunter. I think obviously he'll get linked into some main plot, but as of I think the episode 1 or 2 and what his story will be is just he's looking for bounties, cashing money. I love at one point they show his ship and he just has all these people carbonite frozen. It just shows like all the people he's collecting. Like, and I like that we'll kind of get maybe a morally ambiguous character. Is he good? Is he bad? There's one moment where he just like uses his wrist like strap and he sends that guy into the door and it starts to close. I was very surprised that was in a Star Wars because that looked quite brutal for something they do. But
I think you really have to if you want it to really feel like he's a bounty hunter of some sort. You gotta make it a little more visceral. Yeah, and I think, and that's something too that crime movies, bounty hunters, hitman, that always appeals to me. So I think that's why that's kind of talking to me. So I just think there's lots of potential. Same thing as Obi-Wan, and like you said, Jon Favreau. That's a good sign. I think there's lots of potential in the Star Wars world. What does a bounty hunter do? There has to be so many adventures you would go on, right? And even like the bounty hunters in the OG trilogy, they had no development whatsoever, but they still looked cool. Yeah, they had that aesthetic. So the fact that they're gonna like actually dive into that full force is pretty interesting.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars does a lot of that, just like general world building, or even just like, oh, that character in the background looks really cool, and I feel like now that character in the background is gonna be like the main character. How are they gonna spin that and make it interesting? Yeah. So yeah, everything I like from the trailer looked good, and it's not been confirmed, but the word going around is that there is going to be season 2, but the word going around that they might be filming in October. So clearly before it even comes out. Oh, like season 2. Okay. Yeah. So this is a show that's not going to be miniseries. They planned this on going for a while. So it sounds like Disney's happy with it. You got lots of great people. Dave Filoni, who did all the animated stuffs on this. Bryce Dallas Howard, Rick Famuyiwa, Taika Waititi. There's lots of really good talent. Is he acting? He's directing an episode and he's acting. Cool. There's that robot. I'm not sure he's the IG-88 kind of model. That robot that has the guns and he's like spinning around shooting. Taika voices. That's a Taika line. He voices that robot. So yeah, there's just if it goes wrong and if it's bad quality, I'm not going to, like, of course you blame Disney because they made that product, but they seem to be doing everything they can, like great actors, great talent, great directors, great writers. I wonder, I mean, this idea even to make it like a weekly release, like one episode a week, like they're on some other level shit with that. I don't know what they're doing. Like that's clearly an experiment to see if they're going to do more of that on the streaming service. I think it's just to keep people, right? Because you got to keep it. And I think they also want the way as like, I know you didn't watch it, but I think you would even feel when Game of Thrones came out that Sunday, there's just, that's what Twitter and the internet was talking about, right? I think they want their show to be that. I think every Tuesday or whenever it drops, they want that to be Mandalorian. I guess just like, I was thinking since they have a, feature length movie coming out the next month, like, people are going to be talking about Star Wars enough, so I don't know. It will be interesting to see how the numbers are in that, what the reception of that is, and if they continue to do that, if they start doing that for Marvel shows. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, and I think that if you look at something like Stranger Things, obviously imagine if they get to a point where they have like just something releasing every single week, right? Oh, I don't think it's far off. Those 2021 years. How many properties are within Disney's umbrella? That could be a possibility, and that's like. They would just turn us into zombies. They'd turn us into robots who are just gobbling this up, going to work, and then just coming home and fucking eating this Disney content. Oh, yeah. Jesus. And I'm scared. They're so powerful. And that's the thing. If you look at something like Stranger Things, it has a big weekend, has another big weekend, but then after that, it's kind of gone, right? They came out. It's like a movie. People talked about it. Yeah, do you think Netflix is going to follow in this path? I think so. I think all streaming services should, because I think Disney's... Do you think they'll do it preemptively, or are they going to wait and see... Because Netflix could pump out some show that they record next week and have it up on air next month. Because that's what Netflix fucking does. I think they might wait and see, but it's... Because we've talked about this before. There's pros and cons for the binging and release, right? I love being able to knock it on the weekend, but at the same time, I also would not maybe have to feel like, I got to watch this entire thing in a weekend. I just like having control or the option. But. Yeah, so that's where I think that they are going to do this for most of their shows, at least for the first year, and then I think Netflix will follow, because I think Disney just wants to keep you. That's why. Yeah. And if you got 8 weeks of that's 2 months, they got you at least for 2 months, and then after that, there's Clone Wars, and then as a person who, we run a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
It's content
It'll
for us.
work out, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
Tagging on to newscast.
And good discussions, because that will be our first live TV show doing weekly. We've always done binge or we've done retros of shows, but if we do a show weekly, that's going to be new territory for us. So
taking us out of our comfort zone.
Yeah. Then there's just little stuff. 2 kid movies or kind of Disney movies. There was Lady and the Tramp trailer and the Noel trailer. What do you think about those 2?
I think I've seen Lady and the Tramp, the original, maybe once in my life.
Nice.
A very long time ago. I don't care. It doesn't seem interesting to me. I will not.
Full on kids movie.
I will not be watching this. Noel, I watched the trailer. Looks like fun. Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader are awesome. I love them.
Yeah.
So
fun little concept, right?
I mean, who doesn't like a nice, happy, new Christmas movie to add to the list? And I'll definitely check it out. It seems like fun, but
yeah,
I don't know. There's not much to say on it, right? It's just going to be a fun time.
I think that's the same way for me. Lady and the Tramp already, Gwen is at the age where now she's more cognizant. She's liking things. She's choosing shows. And when she saw that, puppies, that's the right way I saw it. Now that I have a kid, before I always talked about what do kids think? Now that I have a kid, it's just the second she sees that, it's that's why that movie's on there for age from 2 to 6 or whatever, right? So that's fine for me. The only thing that was weird is that it seems like they're going back and forth between physical dogs and CGI dogs. I think you'd pick one or the other, but because when they were talking,
maybe their CGI is just that good that you can't tell.
Maybe. So that was a weird thing. And Noel, I'm excited.
The cat physics they had in Toy Story 4. Right? I've just seen trailers, but that's it's pretty crazy.
It's
what
pretty good.
Disney's reached.
And then Noel, I'll watch just because Bill Hader. I'm a Bill Hader fanboy.
He's great.
Yeah, and all these It Chapter 2 reviews have been coming out. And everyone's
right. I forgot he's in that.
That's next week coming up almost, or 2 weeks from now.
Holy shit, that's a wild thought.
Yeah. And then everyone's just Bill Hader's a great actor. That's why I was you got to watch Barry for people. He's fantastic. This looks like it's more in the SNL vein of he's just having a fun time. But this will be just, I said in the chat, I'm expecting a solid 6 out of 10 movie. If it can get to a 7, great. But I'm just expecting, watch it. It's a new Christmas movie. Have a couple chuckles. I the cast.
I don't think it's a movie that you would rate. You just watch it. You have fun.
Yeah. And then I think that's about it. Other than they announced Liz McGuire is coming back.
Yeah. So I was a big Lizzie McGuire fan as a young boy who had a older sister. I've probably seen every episode of that show.
Every episode.
Probably.
Was that your favorite Disney Channel original?
I used to destroy the Disney Channel. I was watching so much on there, or the Family Channel. So I've seen so many of those shows. Would it be my favorite? I don't know. I really liked Recess.
Even Stevens for me is the GOAT.
Even Stevens is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked all of it, honestly.
Recess.
I just loved that era. That was the dream era.
Did you hear? So also this and the other thing they're doing is a sequel series to that. So Raven as well.
That's kind of interesting.
That it wasn't announced on this. It was just in the thing, and it's called Raven's Home.
Raven's Home.
I don't know what that title is, but yeah.
Lizzie McGuire. I'm definitely going to watch this show.
It's about her. She's in New York. She's turning 30, and she's just trying to figure out, I think, what to do with her life, maybe?
Yeah, I didn't know Hilary Duff was still alive, so that's pretty cool.
Wow. But yeah, she's coming back. That little animated character's
I'm fucking down. I'm definitely going to watch this show.
I think I will,
Am I gonna retro the original episodes? No.
Oh, man.
That's like the prequels. I'm just going to leave that in my nostalgic mind. I'm not going to go back and watch that, but I can't even remember I guess there was Gordo and Miranda.
Yeah, in the movie. Maybe just watch the movie.
I can't remember the brother. I can't picture him. Right
now.
And
then there's a guy. I can't remember. Emily told him his name, but the hot guy who had the
Ethan?
hair.
Ethan Kraft.
Yeah, Ethan Kraft. Yeah.
I fucking love that.
This is the thing why you need to support us on Patreon, because man, I would love to, at the point if we could do this as a job and one day do an Even Stevens and the Liz McGuire retro. The point where we've done all this geek stuff, it's we're gonna watch the entire Lizzie McGuire series and let's see what happens. But
help us get there so we can do this for 8 hours a day. 10 hours a day. I'll just for 16 hours a day.
All it takes is $1. If every listener gave us $1, we could be giving you more and more content. We could be doing this daily. So head over to Patreon, especially 2020.
Speaking of daily, we'll be back tomorrow. So
yeah, we're gonna be pumping out tons of content on Patreon coming up in the next year on $1 and $5 tier. So it's good. Thank you to all the new people that have joined. And then the last thing I have, because I almost forgot about, Monsters at Work. Not that much new. It just says it's going to be a workplace comedy about working at Monsters headquarters. That's fun. And it's going to pick off right where the original movie ended.
Which is
refreshing, because I thought it'd be a prequel for sure when they announced this initially. So I'm down.
I've always wondered what happens, right?
Mike and Sully coming back.
That cliffhanger. Yeah. I always wondered what happens.
You think we'll see Boo?
Oh, yeah. You have to. Right? I feel like this is just, I don't know.
I don't think we do.
Really?
Well, I think maybe once. But I don't think she's a big part of it. The show could literally start with Sully walking out from Boo's room, just being, that was great, and then it's about him working.
That was great.
Yeah,
I'm just getting bad vibes in my head with.
Yeah, just because you're thinking about Incredibles 2. We've had a lot of bad follow-ups lately.
Yeah, I don't want. That's so sad that exists.
I just love bringing that up to see you can ruin Dylan's day easily by just bringing up Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. There's no date on that, so it's looking like that's next year. But I think that's another. It hits our generation, hits kids. I'm excited. The cast coming back. So
we're reassembling that Big Lebowski cast. John Goodman and Steve Buscemi. So I'm down.
Randall better be back. He better be trying to cause trouble.
He better.
And we better see the trial of Mr. Waternoose.
Where was he last though?
He got thrown into the hillbillies' door, and they're like, "Look, it's a gator!" And they started hitting him.
He'll be back. Do you think he'll be the villain again?
No, but I think he has to come back. Maybe he's a one-episode villain.
Waternoose went to jail or something.
We should see the trial of Waternoose. Imagine if that's what they announce, like the sequel series of this. It's just like it's a really serious, like the Obi Wan, like the trial of Waternoose, and it's like, oh man. But yeah, we gotta see Roz, right? I think she's a guarantee.
You forgot your paperwork again. I
always
hope so.
watch.
She's great.
Yeah.
God, I'm excited for that show. That's gonna be fun.
Disney Plus, man. And this, we're not even done. Well, I guess we got tomorrow's the film stuff, so whatever. But Disney Plus is just the beginning. This is the first 3 years they're announcing content, and it's nuts.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They got my money.
I'm gonna be there day one. I'm gonna get the year pass because I know they're gonna make it worth it.
Yeah, and if you're excited to hear us review all this, we're gonna be starting November 12th. Got Mandalorian, got Lady of the Tramp, got Noel. It's going to be a packed day. I'm going to try to take off work so we can even if it's after work, though, we can binge it, watch. You going to watch Noel with us?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wait, when does that come out?
All of it comes out November 12th.
Why does that come out in November? Leave that till December.
But that's a new trend with Christmas movies now. They come out in November. I guess maybe they get another bump in December, and Star Wars, so maybe they want to stay away from Star Wars in December.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But you don't want to stay away from us, the Geek First. Go down in the description below. The YouTube and video links are all down there. Like I said, Patreon support us there. We got a Spider-Man PS4 sequel cast up there. We got speaking of Star Wars, we got a solo commentary track up there that you can get months and months early.
Oh, also, if you're listening to this live and you live in Kelowna, come to Comic-Con this weekend. Come check out. Me and Taylor will be there.
We should have picked that at the beginning.
Yeah, we should have, but it's
classic.
We were just hyped on Moon Knight. Okay,
that's why you
come check us out. We'll just be hanging out. You can. We'll give you a poster. We have some cool posters, and it'll just be a fun time.
Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow or whenever you listen to this, and we promise you will not be boring.
Bye bye.